Tonight could be the turning point of your entire life, not because of what happens outside, but because of what shifts inside your spirit. Pay attention, because what I am about to reveal is rare, powerful, and will not come again. This is not a simple technique. This is a spiritual key that can alter the reality you wake up to tomorrow. Imagine missing this moment. Imagine walking away and never discovering the hidden law that has been shaping your life without your awareness. Stay with me. In the 1950s, Neville Goddard gave a teaching so unusual that it shocked his students. He called it the ladder test, and he wanted to prove something dangerous to your old way of thinking, that your imagination creates your reality, not eventually, not someday, but instantly in the subconscious. For 3 nights, he told them, before sleep, repeat a strange sentence. Say it with focus. Say it until it sinks. I will not climb a ladder. That was the command. Yet while repeating it, he told them to imagine the opposite. Feel yourself climbing. Place your foot on the rung. Grip the sides. Hear the creak. Feel the movement as if it is real. Then drift to sleep. The next morning and the days that followed, students came back terrified by the accuracy. Ladders appeared everywhere. In dreams. At work. Outside their homes. Why? Because the subconscious does not care what you say. It obeys what you feel. It does not hear yes or no. It only accepts repetition, emotion, and imagination. That is why people pray for breakthrough but remain stuck. They speak abundance but still rehearse lack. Words do not create. States of feeling do. So ask yourself right now, what are you rehearsing in your imagination? Because that rehearsal is your future. And once you pass this ladder test, once you feel your inner world spill into the physical, you will never unsee the law again. And here is the truth you need to face. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of random chance. You are not trapped in a world that dictates your fate without your consent. You are creating it every moment with the theater of your imagination. The pictures you hold, the feelings you repeat, the silent rehearsals you run in the private stage of your mind. This is where the real battle is fought, and this is where the real victory is won. Think about it. When you imagine fear, what happens? Your heart races. Your breath shortens. Your body reacts as if danger is already here. Neuroscientists have proven that the brain fires in the same way when you imagine as when you experience. The body does not know the difference. That is why athletes rehearse their performance in vivid mental pictures. That is why survivors have felt healing responses through visualization. The inner image becomes the outer command. So the question is urgent. What images are you allowing to dominate? What story are you telling in silence? What feeling are you training your subconscious to accept as law? Because that is exactly what will unfold. A young woman in New York discovered this the hard way. She laughed at the ladder exercise. She thought it was silly, but she tried it. She whispered the words before sleep. She imagined her foot on the rung, the wood pressing against her palm, the sound of her weight shifting higher, the feeling of the climb. 1 week later, she found herself at her workplace, confronted by a ladder she had to use. She froze. She remembered the test. She realized her imagination had spilled into reality. That was the proof. That was the moment she knew. And if it worked with a ladder, what else could it work with? Your finances, your health, your relationships, your destiny. If imagination can pull a ladder into your life, it can pull anything. That is why Neville called it a spiritual law. And the law does not bend. It only obeys. Tonight, ask yourself again, what are you rehearsing? What future are you summoning? Because you cannot escape it. You are rehearsing something, whether you are conscious of it or not. Choose carefully. Choose powerfully. And if you feel the truth of this, declare it now. Say it with me. I believe in imagination. And if you have felt its power before, leave your mark. Write it below. Type it out as a declaration. I believe in imagination. Do it now to anchor the law in your spirit, because your imagination is the beginning of all reality. It is the seed. It is the root. And if you plant weakness, you will harvest weakness. But if you plant power, if you plant vision, if you plant strength, you will harvest life overflowing. So again, I ask, what are you rehearsing right now? What hidden picture is shaping your tomorrow? And if you are ready to take back your creative power, say it boldly. Say it without hesitation. I believe in imagination. What if I told you that the very words leaving your lips mean almost nothing if your heart trembles in fear? What if I told you that you can speak wealth, but live in poverty because your inner state is rehearsing lack? You can say, I am rich 1,000 times, but if inside you're still haunted by bills stacked on your desk, your subconscious will betray you. This is the secret most people never understand, and it is the reason so many repeat affirmations and see no change. They shout words but feel doubt. They declare abundance but embody fear. And the subconscious does not listen to words. It listens only to the emotion underneath. It listens to the state you live in when no one is watching. Think about it. How many times have you said something with your mouth while your body screamed the opposite? You say, I am confident, yet your palms sweat. You say, I am loved, yet your chest aches with loneliness. You say, I am free, yet your shoulders are heavy with chains. Which do you think your subconscious accepts? Not the word, never the word. It accepts the feeling. That is why Antonio Damasio, one of the most respected neuroscientists of our time, declared that emotions decide far more than logic. Emotions shape memory. Emotions drive behavior. Emotions anchor belief. Your subconscious is the stage director, and emotion is the script it cannot ignore. So let me ask you, what script have you been feeding it? Are you planting fear and then surprised when fear grows? Are you planting doubt and then shocked when doors close? Or are you willing to shift now? To feel as if the life you long for is already pulsing inside you? There was a man in Silicon Valley who learned this truth the hard way. He was a businessman who had it all. A thriving company, a vision, success others envied. Then it all collapsed. Bankruptcy, failure, silence where applause used to be. He tried affirmations. He tried declarations. He shouted wealth into the air. But inside he still felt broken. Inside he rehearsed failure. And nothing changed. Until he discovered the law. He stopped forcing words and started shifting feelings. Every morning, he closed his eyes and felt what success would feel like again. He rehearsed the boardroom. He felt the confidence in his chest. He imagined shaking hands with investors and smiled as if the deal was already signed. He didn't just say it. He rehearsed it as reality. And within 18 months, he built another company, stronger, greater, profitable beyond the first. Was it chance? No, it was law. The law that your subconscious does not care about words. It cares about the emotion you live in. And once you shift the feeling, the world has no choice but to follow. Do you see now? Do you feel the urgency? How many more years will you waste speaking words your heart does not believe? How many more mornings will you declare abundance while trembling in scarcity? The clock is ticking. Every day you rehearse the wrong feeling, you are writing the wrong script for your future. And your subconscious is a perfect servant. It does not argue. It only creates. If you are tired of shouting into the void and seeing nothing, then stop focusing on words. Focus on state. Focus on emotion. Focus on the reality you feel. Because when your feeling and your words unite, creation is instant. So let me ask you directly, what do you feel right now? Not what you say. What do you feel? Because that is what you are rehearsing. That is what your future is being built on. If this truth cuts deep, it is because you already know it. You have lived it. You have seen words fail when the feeling was missing. And maybe you have been waiting for someone to remind you. So here it is. If you have ever spoken change but seen no change, now you understand why. And if you are ready to break that cycle, this is your moment. Declare it with action. Declare it by shifting your inner state right now. If you have ever said the words but never seen the result, hit like in this very moment to break the old pattern and step into a new one. Do it as a declaration that from this day forward, you will not just say, you will feel. You will not just affirm, you will embody. Because the subconscious will always betray empty words, but it will always obey living feelings. And when you master the art of feeling it real, everything changes. The question now is simple. How do you go directly into the subconscious without resistance? How do you bypass the gatekeeper and plant new seeds in the fertile soil of the inner mind? That is the secret we are about to uncover. Have you ever wondered why your prayers seem unanswered? Have you ever asked why your affirmations feel empty, even when you repeat them with all your strength? The secret is timing. The secret is the door between waking and sleeping. The moment when your body begins to surrender, but your mind has not yet collapsed. That fragile border. That invisible gateway. That is when the universe listens most clearly. That is when the subconscious is wide open. And that is when your imagination has the power to slip past resistance and plant new realities. This state has a name. Neville Goddard called it the state akin to sleep. Scientists call it the alpha-theta border. A place where the critical mind falls silent and suggestion takes root. Do you understand what that means? It means the single most powerful moment of your day is not when you are shouting affirmations in the morning. It is not when you are writing goals at noon. It is not when you are forcing yourself to visualize at your desk. It is the moment right before sleep, when your eyelids grow heavy, when your breath slows, when your thoughts soften and drift. That moment is sacred. That moment is the key. Because when you are too awake, your critical mind argues. It tells you this is impossible. It tells you it will never happen. It blocks the seed from being planted. But in S.A.T.S, the guard is down. The wall is lowered. The subconscious receives directly. And what you feel in that moment becomes law. Think about how dangerous it is to waste that moment. How many nights have you drifted to sleep rehearsing fear? How many nights have you surrendered into anger or regret? How many futures have you planted without even knowing? This is not trivial. This is the hidden battlefield of your destiny. But here is the miracle. Once you understand it, you can use it. You can bend that moment to your will. You can plant the seed of wealth. You can plant the seed of healing. You can plant the seed of love. And the subconscious must obey. A famous athlete in America discovered this. He was not the fastest. He was not the strongest. But he practiced S.A.T.S every night before sleep. He closed his eyes and felt the race as if it had already happened. He felt the ground beneath his shoes. He felt the explosion of his muscles. He felt the finish line breaking across his chest. He saw the crowd rising. He heard the roar. He felt the victory is real. Night after night, he rehearsed this. 6 months later, he crossed the finish line and took the medal. The same race he had already lived 100 times in S.A.T.S. The world called it training. But he knew it was law. The law of imagination. The law of subconscious feeling. Do you see the urgency now? You are either using S.A.T.S consciously, or you are letting it use you. You are either planting power or planting fear. There is no neutral. The mind is always rehearsing something. And what you rehearse, you will live. Tonight, as you lie down, the choice is yours. Will you waste the moment on doubt? Or will you claim it as the sacred gateway it truly is? Feel it, enter it, use it, and tomorrow will begin to shift. Neuroscience confirms it. In the alpha-theta border state, the brain waves slow down. The mind becomes highly suggestible. Hypnosis researchers call it fertile ground. Every suggestion sinks deeper. Every image is amplified. Every emotion becomes a command. That is why S.A.T.S is not optional. It is the gateway, the bridge, the passage into creation. So let me ask you, what will you plant tonight? What story will you rehearse when your eyes close? Will you surrender to fear, or will you surrender to vision? The law does not judge. It only creates. And once you understand this, you hold the key to your future. If you have been praying to awake, if you have been affirming while distracted, that is why nothing moved. But if you learn to use the gateway, everything changes. The law responds instantly. So here is my challenge to you. Tonight, before you close your eyes, choose one vision. Step into it as if it is real. Feel the texture. Hear the sounds. Taste the victory. Let your body believe it. And then fall asleep. Do not worry. Do not force. Just surrender into the feeling and watch what happens. Some of you will dream it. Some of you will see it appear in strange ways. Some of you will feel a shift the very next day. But all of you will know this truth, that the subconscious obeys S.A.T.S more than any word you ever spoke. So I invite you, try it tonight. And when you wake, tell your story. Share it below so others can see the law in action. Because this is not theory. This is law. This is your doorway into creation. And once you step through, you can never see the world the same way again. So ask yourself one last time, when your eyes grow heavy tonight, what will you rehearse? What seed will you plant in the fertile ground of your subconscious? Because that seed will grow. That seed will become your tomorrow. Choose wisely, and then choose to act. Tonight could be the night you finally awaken the power that has been waiting inside you all along. Try it tonight before you sleep. And tomorrow, come back and tell me what you discovered. Have you ever asked yourself why your imagination feels weak? Why you see images in your mind, but nothing in your world seems to change? The answer is simple. You are only watching. You are not entering. You are not living inside the picture. And that is why nothing moves. You cannot just see the ladder. You must climb it in your mind. You must grip the side rails. You must place your foot on the rung. You must hear the wood creak under your weight. You must feel the strain in your muscles. You must sense your heartbeat quicken as you rise higher. This is the difference between daydream and creation. One is a shadow. The other is power. Which one have you been practicing? Science proves this truth. When you imagine vividly with sensory detail, the motor cortex in your brain activates. The same regions that fire when you move in reality fire when you move in imagination. That is why your palms sweat when you picture danger. That is why your heart races when you imagine falling. The body cannot tell the difference. The subconscious accepts the rehearsal as law. So if you are only sketching faint images, you are starving your subconscious. But if you immerse yourself in the full experience, you are commanding your subconscious to make it real. Think of the danger of neglecting this. How many lives are wasted because people only fantasize but never feel? How many dreams die because they never enter the experience? They never touch it. They never taste it. They only see it far away. That is not creation. That is distance. That is delay. The secret is immersion. Full immersion. There was a man in America who proved this beyond doubt. After a brutal accident, he was told he might never walk again. His body was weak. His doctors gave him little hope, but he refused to accept the verdict. Night after night, he closed his eyes and felt his legs move. He felt the pressure of the floor. He felt the muscles tightening. He felt the rhythm of walking, step after step. He imagined himself moving across the room, not watching, living. His nerves began to respond. His body began to remember. And within months, he was walking again. The doctors called it a miracle. But it was not a miracle. It was law. The law of full sensory imagination. Do you feel the urgency now? You are either living your vision or watching it fade. You are either climbing the ladder in spirit or staring at it from a distance. And your subconscious knows the difference. Which are you doing? Which will you choose tonight? Because the choice is not optional. You are always rehearsing something. And what you rehearse with full emotion and sensory detail must spill into reality. That is why this step is not to be skipped. Vivid detail is the bridge. Feeling is the proof. Immersion is the command. You must step inside the picture and live it until it feels more real than the world outside. Only then does the subconscious obey. This is why actors often feel emotions they never intended. Because the body cannot separate imagined experience from lived experience. Asterisk, the subconscious takes it as truth. And if it works for fear and sadness, it works for strength and victory. So ask yourself again, are you willing to do more than see? Are you willing to climb? Are you willing to feel the weight, the grip, the sound, the heartbeat? Because if you are, you will discover a power that no one can take from you. And if you are not, you will stay stuck in the shadow of what could be. Tonight, when you close your eyes, enter the scene. Do not watch it. Live it, breathe it, own it, and tomorrow you will begin to see the proof. The law cannot fail. The subconscious cannot ignore what is lived. If you have the courage to immerse fully, then comment right now, I will climb. Write it boldly. Declare it as your first step. Because once you step inside the picture, your life must step into alignment with it. You cannot escape what you live in spirit. You cannot deny what you rehearse in detail. You are shaping your tomorrow right now. So I ask you again, will you see the ladder or will you climb it? Will you drift in shadows or will you command the law? The choice is in your hands and your future is waiting. Have you ever noticed how the mind rebels when you tell it no? How the very act of denial plants the seed of desire. This is the hidden paradox. This is the secret Neville revealed with the ladder. When you say, I will not climb a ladder, while imagining yourself climbing, your conscious mind gets trapped in the words, but your subconscious absorbs the picture. And the picture is what creates. The contradiction is the trigger. The tension is the spark. While your critical mind is distracted by the command, your subconscious drinks in the vivid image. And what is rehearsed in feeling must spill into form. That is why the students who repeated, I will not climb a ladder, found ladders waiting for them. The words said one thing, but the feeling rehearsed another. And the subconscious obeyed the feeling. Always the feeling, never the word. Do you see the danger and the opportunity here? You might think you are blocking something with denial, but you are planting it even deeper if you feel it as real. The mind works in images, not in negatives. Psychologists have shown this again and again. When told do not think of a pink elephant, what image fills your mind instantly? The elephant. The picture, not the command. The brain favors images over denial, and the subconscious is image-driven. It does not hear no. It only sees the vision behind the word. That is why this exercise is so shocking, because it proves with terrifying clarity that your subconscious listens to the rehearsal, not the phrase. A teacher in America once tested this with his students. He explained Neville's ladder exercise and challenged them to try. They laughed. They repeated, "I will not climb a ladder before bed." They imagined the climb, the grip, the creak, the view from above. Within days, the reports came back. One student dreamed of a ladder every night. Another was asked to grab a ladder for a chore. Another found a ladder leaning against her building the next morning. Coincidence? No. Law. The law of subconscious response. The paradox worked, and the entire class was shaken by the proof. So what does this mean for you? It means your subconscious is far more clever than you think. It means every time you say, "I will not fail," but secretly feel failure, you are planting failure. Every time you declare, "I will not be poor," while trembling at bills, you are planting poverty. But every time you say no with words and yes with feeling, the subconscious locks on to the feeling, the picture, the vision, and that is what becomes law. Do you feel the weight of this? Do you see how urgent it is to watch not only what you say, but what you feel behind the words? Because the subconscious does not care about your sentence. It cares about your state. The paradox distracts the conscious guard and smuggles the image into the deeper mind. This is why the ladder works. This is why contradiction is powerful. The conscious argues, the subconscious accepts, and you live the result. The question is, what contradictions are you rehearsing right now? Are you denying success while secretly feeling it? Or are you declaring success while secretly trembling in lack? The subconscious cannot be fooled. It knows what you feel, and it will always deliver it back to you. Imagine the danger of ignoring this. Imagine the power of using it. Tonight you can test it. Tonight you can feel the paradox work in your own life. Say the phrase. Create the contradiction. Let your conscious wrestle with the denial. And then slip the image, the feeling, the vivid experience past the guard into your subconscious. That is where creation begins. That is where reality is rewritten. So let me ask you directly, are you ready to test this for yourself? Are you ready to see with your own eyes how quickly the subconscious obeys feeling over words? If so, declare it now. Type it boldly. I am ready. Because the moment you step into the paradox, you step into proof. Proof that the law is real. Proof that imagination is power. Proof that your subconscious obeys only the images you feel. This is your chance to test the hidden law. This is your chance to watch the impossible unfold in small, undeniable ways. And once you see it with something as simple as a ladder, you will know you can apply it to everything. To money, to health, to love, to destiny. But it begins here with the paradox, with the contradiction, with the strange power of saying no with words and yes with feeling. Do not waste it. Do not let this truth slip by. Try it tonight. And if you are ready to begin, if you are ready to step into the test, then write it now. I am ready. Because once you test the paradox, your life will never be the same again. So I ask you one last time, will you step into the contradiction and let your subconscious reveal its power? Or will you stay trapped in empty words while your future slips away? The choice is yours, and your subconscious is listening. What if I told you that the tiny ladder you climbed in your imagination was never about a ladder at all? What if I told you that it was the rehearsal for something far greater? One small step to prove a law that can move entire mountains in your life. One simple test that holds the seed of transformation in every area of your existence. Do you see the urgency? If you can believe in the ladder, then you can believe in the mountain. And once you believe in the mountain, There is nothing left that can stand in your way. Think about it. You proved the law in something small. You whispered the words. You rehearsed the image. You felt the climb. And reality bent to your inner vision. The ladder appeared. The proof was undeniable. Now the question burns. What mountain in your life are you ready to move? Is it money? Is it health? Is it love? Is it your purpose? Because the same law that delivered the ladder can deliver these. The subconscious does not measure the size of your desire. It does not care if it is a ladder or an empire. It only obeys the state you rehearse. So the limitation is never in the law. It is only in your belief. Psychologists call it the self-fulfilling prophecy. Belief shapes perception. Perception shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcome. What you expect, you create. What you feel as real, you live. That is why the ladder was given. To prove this law in a way no one could deny. A man in Los Angeles discovered this. He was unemployed, lost, drifting. Every day he walked past a studio and wondered if he would ever belong inside. He could have surrendered to despair. He could have accepted the verdict of failure. But instead, he tested the law. Every night before sleep, he imagined himself inside the studio. He felt the camera in his hand. He saw the lights above him. He heard the sound of actors rehearsing. He lived the experience until it was more real than the darkness of his room. 2 years later, he was directing his first independent film. Not luck, not chance. Law. The same law you tested with a ladder. And if it worked for him, it can work for you. But here is the danger. If you stop at the ladder, you miss the mountain. If you treat the test as a trick, you will never unlock the treasure. The ladder is proof. The mountain is the goal. So ask yourself now, what mountain are you willing to move? Your financial mountain, your body's mountain, the mountain of love you long for, the mountain of destiny calling your name. Do not waste the proof. Use it. Plant the image. Live inside it. Let your subconscious accept it as law. And reality will have no choice but to obey. But let me ask you directly, how many more years will you wait before you test this truth on something that matters? How many more nights will you fall asleep rehearsing fear instead of victory? The clock is ticking. Your life is not waiting. The law is already at work, whether you use it or not. So why not use it for you instead of against you? Why not claim your mountain now? The power of the ladder is that it silences your doubt. It proves your imagination is creative. Once you have that proof, you no longer have an excuse. You cannot say it does not work. You saw it. You lived it. You touched the evidence. And now you stand at the edge of something bigger. The mountain is waiting. The law is ready. The only question is, will you step into it? Or will you retreat to the safety of small desires? Remember this. The subconscious does not get tired. It does not limit itself. It is always listening, always responding, always creating. So tonight, you can plant the seed of a mountain just as easily as you planted the seed of a ladder. The cost is the same. The rehearsal is the same. The only difference is your courage to believe. So I challenge you, right now, decide what mountain you will move. Write it down. Declare it. Feel it. Live it inside before you ever see it outside. And then watch. Watch how the law responds. Watch how doors open. Watch how opportunities align. And remember, this is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is law, tested, proven, demonstrated. If you can climb a ladder in your imagination and see it manifest in your world, you can climb into a new life, a new career, a new love, a new identity. Nothing is too large. Nothing is off limits. The law does not shrink before your desire. It only mirrors what you dare to feel as real. So answer me now. What mountain will you move? What impossible thing will you claim? Do not hide from the question. Do not delay your answer. This is your moment. Type it boldly in the comments. Claim it with conviction. Say it as if it is already true. Because once you dare to declare it, your subconscious begins to rehearse it. And once you rehearse it, it must unfold. The law cannot fail. So let me leave you with this. If you believe in the ladder, you can believe in the mountain. If you can prove it in small things, you can command it in great things. And if you choose to use it, your life will never look the same again. Tonight, plant your mountain. Tomorrow, watch it rise. And soon you will stand on top of it, looking back at the day you chose to believe. The only question left is this: how will you hold on to that state when life tests you? Have you ever stopped to question where fear comes from? Have you ever realized that most of what terrifies you has never even happened? Fear is not reality. Fear is an image, a shadow your own mind is projecting. And yet that shadow can paralyze you. It can freeze your steps. It can lock you in delay while your future slips away. But here is the shocking truth. The same imagination that creates success can also create fear. The same theater of the mind that builds dreams can also build prisons. Which one are you rehearsing? Which one are you living? Neuroscience proves it. The amygdala, the part of your brain that controls fear, fires the same way whether you see a real threat or just imagine one. Your body reacts. Your heart races. Your breath shortens. Your muscles tense. Not because danger is here, but because your imagination made it real. Do you see how dangerous that is? You are living inside illusions of your own making. You are suffering from ghosts. And those ghosts are nothing but images. Which means you can change them. Which means you can replace them. Which means the same power that enslaved you can free you. But the choice is urgent. How many more nights will you delay because fear whispered wait? How many more opportunities will you lose because fear painted a picture of failure? You are standing at the edge of your life right now. The question is not whether fear is real. The question is whether you will keep bowing to shadows. A woman in America discovered this. For years she was crushed by social anxiety. She avoided gatherings. She avoided opportunities. She hid behind excuses. But then she learned the law of imagination. She realized that every time she pictured rejection, her body reacted as if it had already happened. She was rehearsing failure before she ever walked into the room. So she reversed it. Night after night, she rehearsed safety. She pictured herself walking into a room with ease. She imagined smiles. She imagined laughter. She felt her body relax in the presence of others. She planted new images until her subconscious accepted them as truth. Within months, she walked into meetings without fear. She spoke with confidence. She connected with people. The anxiety faded. The shadow dissolved. Was it magic? No, it was law. The law that imagination creates reality. Do you feel the urgency now? Fear is not a monster. It is a mirror, and you can smash it. But only if you choose to change the image. Only if you stop rehearsing failure and start rehearsing victory. Fear thrives on delay. Fear feeds on hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger it grows. But the moment you step forward, the moment you rehearse courage, the shadow loses its grip. So let me ask you, what has fear stolen from you? What dream has been delayed by hesitation? What life have you postponed because of shadows? Enough. The law does not bow to fear. The subconscious does not care if the image is dark or light. It only obeys. So give it something new to obey. Give it strength. Give it power. Give it the vision of the life you want. And watch your body respond. Watch your actions shift. Watch your destiny change. You know this truth already. You have felt fear from nothing more than a thought. You have trembled from nothing more than an image. That is proof. Proof of the law. Proof that imagination creates experience. So use it now. Turn it in your favor. And if you have ever felt fear block you, declare your freedom right now. Hit like in this moment as a sign that you are breaking the old pattern. Do it as a declaration that you are no longer bowing to shadows. Fear is a ghost, and ghosts vanish when you shine light. The light is your imagination. The light is the picture of courage you dare to feel as real. Plant it, live it, breathe it, and fear will fade. Tonight, when you close your eyes, rehearse the opposite of fear. Rehearse courage. Rehearse power. Rehearse the victory that is waiting for you. And tomorrow, act as if it is already yours, because it is. The law has already accepted it. The only question left is this. Once you overcome fear, once you break through delay, how will you stay consistent? What will keep you steady when life tests your courage? That is the key we will uncover next. Have you ever asked yourself if imagining a new life means you are pretending? Have you ever feared that by picturing a better future, you are somehow lying to yourself? That question haunts many people. They wonder if imagination is a mask. They worry that stepping into a vision is the same as acting a role. But here is the truth. You do not need to pretend. You do not need to fake. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to return to the truest version of yourself. That is what Neville meant when he spoke of imagination. It is not about pretending. It is about reconnecting with your higher self, the part of you that already exists beyond fear, the part of you that already knows the path, the part of you that is not trapped in doubt. This is not performance. This is alignment. And when you align with your higher self, you feel the difference instantly. Your body relaxes. Your heart steadies. Your words carry weight. You stop acting. You start being. That is why positive psychology research that living true to your values creates lasting happiness. Not temporary excitement. Not shallow joy. Lasting fulfillment. Because authenticity is power. Authenticity is freedom. And authenticity is the only soil where your imagination can bear real fruit. Think about it. When you pretend, you feel strain. You feel the effort of maintaining an image. But when you step into your higher self, the effort vanishes. You are no longer forcing. You are flowing. You are no longer imitating. You are embodying. And the subconscious knows the difference. The subconscious accepts the state that feels most natural. Pretending is fragile. Authenticity is uncheckable. Which one do you want to build your future on? There was a doctor in America who faced this choice. He had everything by the world's standard. A high salary, prestige, respect, but inside he was empty. He knew he was living someone else's dream. Every day felt like acting a part that drained his soul. Then came the moment of truth. He asked himself what his higher self truly desired. And the answer shocked him. It was not more money. It was not more prestige. It was healing. He felt called to leave his career and become a speaker who guided people toward emotional wholeness. The world called him reckless. His colleagues laughed. But he chose authenticity. He imagined himself on stage. He felt the connection with the audience. He heard the applause of lives transformed. He stepped into that state until it became natural. Today, he is a renowned inspirational speaker, touching thousands. Not because he pretended, but because he aligned. Do you see the power? Authenticity draws people. Authenticity inspires trust. Authenticity multiplies influence. And it begins with imagination, not as pretense, but as revelation. You are revealing what is already within you. You are uncovering the higher self you buried beneath fear. That is why imagination works, because it shows you who you truly are. And when you live from that place, reality bends to match it. So let me ask you, what masks have you been wearing? What roles have you been forcing? And what would happen if you dared to lay them down? What would happen if tonight you closed your eyes and instead of pretending, you simply reconnected with your higher self? Imagine the relief. Imagine the freedom. Imagine the power of saying, I am me, without apology. That is what the world is waiting for. Not another copy. Not another act. The world is waiting for you. And if you feel that truth right now, declare it. Write it boldly in the comments. Say it with conviction. I am me. Because the moment you declare it, you begin the journey back to yourself. And your subconscious obeys authenticity faster than any script you could rehearse. This is your chance to end the performance. This is your chance to begin the alignment. And once you taste the freedom of being your higher self, you will never settle for acting again. So take this moment. Claim it. Say it. Feel it. I am me. And tomorrow, watch how the world responds to the real you. But the question remains, how do you discover your unique voice? How do you find the sound of your soul in a world full of noise? That is the mystery we will uncover next. Have you ever wondered why you keep searching for answers outside when the deepest truth has been whispering inside you all along? Have you ever felt that urge, that quiet pull, telling you there is more within you than the world has seen? The truth is this. Inside you already exists the voice you have been looking for. Inside you is the compass. Inside you is the guide. It is not missing. It is waiting. Waiting for you to stop chasing noise and start listening to yourself. This is the turning point. This is the moment you stop being an echo and start becoming a voice. A voice that is yours alone. A voice that carries your truth. A voice that cannot be copied. But here is the danger. Most people never hear it. They drown it out with distractions. They bury it under advice. They silence it with fear. And because of that, they spend their whole lives performing instead of living. Do you feel that? Do you feel the urgency to listen before it is too late? Because if you ignore it, if you postpone it, you will end up speaking someone else's words and walking someone else's path. The law of life is clear. If you do not claim your own voice, the world will assign you one. And it will never fit. So how do you find it? How do you uncover the voice that has been buried under years of doubt? The path is simple. It begins with self-reflection. Harvard research proves it. Self-reflection increases performance, clarity, and confidence. Those who take time to listen to themselves rise above those who never stop to question. The tools are timeless. Journaling, meditation, imagination. When you journal, you pour your raw truth on paper. When you meditate, you silence the noise long enough to hear the whisper. When you imagine, you step into the higher self already waiting for you. Piece by piece, your voice emerges. Not forced, not fabricated, revealed. That is the key. You are not creating a voice from nothing. You are revealing what was always inside. A writer in America proved this. He was unknown, unpublished, invisible. He doubted himself daily. He tried copying others, but every word felt hollow. Then he began a practice. Each morning he would sit quietly. He would imagine himself writing with freedom. He would feel the flow of words moving through him. He would journal without judgment. Slowly his own rhythm appeared. His own style. His own truth. Within months, his writing transformed. Readers felt the difference. They felt his authenticity. And today he is known for a voice that is unmistakably his. All because he chose to listen inward instead of outward. Do you see how powerful this is? Your voice is not hidden in others. It is hidden in you. And once you uncover it, no one can take it. But the decision is urgent. How much longer will you silence yourself? How much longer will you let the world tell you who you are? The answer is waiting. The question is whether you will listen. And listening is not passive. It requires action. Write in your journal tonight. Meditate on your truth. Imagine the version of you who is free and feel what that voice sounds like. Do this, and you will discover clarity that no outside advice can ever give you. And once you find it, you must speak it. Speak it boldly. Speak it without apology. Speak it until the world cannot ignore it. Because the world does not need more copies. It needs you. The real you. The authentic you. The voice only you carry. So I ask you now, have you ever truly heard your inner voice? Have you ever allowed it to rise without silencing it with fear? If you have, describe it below in one word. Declare it. Anchor it. Because the moment you type that word, you begin to honor it. And the subconscious will begin to reinforce it. Do not wait. Do not delay. Because your future depends on whether you speak from your soul or from your fear. And if you stay silent, the world loses the gift only you could give. This is the cost of ignoring yourself. But the reward of listening is immeasurable. Confidence, clarity, power, joy, all flow from the voice of your true self. Tonight, choose to hear it. Choose to honor it. Choose to live by it. And when you do, your path will open. Your destiny will shift. And your story will finally be yours. But the question remains. Once you find your voice, once you dare to speak it, how do you make others feel it in their hearts? What is the secret that turns words into stories that move the soul? That is what we will reveal next. Have you ever noticed that facts alone rarely change a heart? Have you ever realized that no matter how many statistics you present, people remain unmoved until they feel something? This is the secret. It is not data that transforms. It is emotion. Emotion is the force that makes the heart tremble, the eyes water, the hands act. And emotion has a language. That language is story. Storytelling is not entertainment. Storytelling is the oldest form of transformation. A story slips past defenses. A story bypasses logic. A story plants seeds in the subconscious that no argument could ever reach. That is why you must master it. That is why if you want to persuade, inspire, or awaken, you must tell a story. Not just any story, an emotional story. One that follows a path proven to move the soul. Hook, character, conflict, resolution. This is the spark line. This is the pattern of every story that has ever made history. The hook captures attention. The character makes it personal. The conflict creates tension. The resolution delivers release. Together, they create a journey the mind cannot forget and the heart cannot ignore. Science proves it. Paul Zak at Claremont University discovered that when people hear emotional stories, their brains release oxytocin, the chemical of trust, the chemical of empathy, the chemical that makes people act. That is why stories move nations. That is why one story can spark a revolution, while data alone falls flat. Do you feel the urgency now? You have been trying to convince with logic when you should have been igniting with emotion. You have been building arguments when you should have been telling stories. Because logic informs, but story transforms. A veteran in America once told his story. He spoke of war. He spoke of fear. He spoke of brothers lost and nights filled with terror. But he also spoke of healing. of rebuilding, of finding hope again. Thousands of young people listened. They were moved not by his facts, but by his heart. They saw themselves in him. They felt his pain. They celebrated his triumph. And many of them chose new paths because of his story. That is the power you hold when you master storytelling. You stop speaking at people and start speaking into them. You stop informing and start transforming. And the world desperately needs transformation. But here is the danger. If you do not use story, someone else will. If you do not move hearts, someone else will. And you may find your truth ignored, not because it is false, but because it is bloodless. Emotion is the lifeblood of persuasion. Story is the vessel. Do not leave it empty. So let me ask you, what story are you carrying that the world needs to hear? What hook will pull people in? What character will they see themselves in? What conflict will hold their breath? What resolution will set them free? These questions matter because your story could be the key that unlocks someone else's prison. Your story could be the spark that lights another person's fire. And you may never know how far its ripple will reach. But you must dare to tell it. Dare to make it raw. Dare to make it real. Because the power of story is not in perfection. It is in authenticity. People do not need flawless heroes. They need relatable characters. They need to see scars. They need to feel struggle. They need to believe that if you overcame, they can too. And that is the heart of storytelling. It is not about you. It is about them. It is about creating a bridge between your experience and their pain. A bridge strong enough to carry them into hope. So I ask you again, are you ready to stop preaching facts and start telling stories? Are you ready to awaken the power of emotion in your voice? Because if you are, then share this message. Spread it. Let others know that story is the true language of transformation. And if you believe that story can change lives, then share this video right now. Do it as your first active story. Do it as proof that you are ready to spread what matters. And when you do, you step into the ancient lineage of storytellers who shaped civilizations, healed hearts, and opened destinies. This is your calling. This is your chance. The question that remains is this. Once the heart is moved, once the story has opened the soul, what will drive the listener to take action in their own life? That is the final secret we will uncover next. What if I told you that this very moment is the only moment you truly have? What if I told you that tomorrow is not promised, yesterday is gone, and right now is the doorway to your future? The truth is urgent. The truth is undeniable. This is the only chance you can act. This is the only chance you can choose. And if you miss it, you cannot get it back. How many times have you delayed? How many times have you whispered to yourself, someday, later, not yet? And how many dreams have withered while you waited? Procrastination is a thief. It steals silently. It takes your power piece by piece until you wake up realizing you built nothing. Do you feel that weight? Do you feel the urgency pressing on your chest? Good, because this is the moment to break it. This is the moment to act. Consciousness is the creator. Not tomorrow. No, not later. No, your ideas are seeds, but seeds die if they are never planted. Action is the soil. Action is the water. Action is the sunlight that turns imagination into reality. And the science is clear. Behavioral studies prove it. Those who set implementation intentions, who act immediately, increase their chances of success by over 70%. Not because they are luckier, not because they are smarter, but because they chose to act while the fire was hot. A young man in America proved this. He sat in a seminar. He listened to truths that stirred his soul. He felt the call. He could have delayed. He could have told himself, maybe later. But he acted in that moment. He signed up for a course that very day. That single choice shifted his life. He gained skills. He built confidence. He created opportunities. And within a few years, his entire destiny was transformed. Why? Because he acted when the moment was alive. That is the law. When inspiration strikes, you must move. If you delay, the energy fades. If you delay, the door closes. That is why this moment is sacred. That is why this moment is the only one that matters. So let me ask you, what will you do right now? Will you let fear whisper wait? Or will you claim your power and declare I choose action? Because the universe responds to decision. The subconscious responds to commitment. Life itself bends for those who dare to act. And right now, in this moment, you can prove you are one of them. Declare it. Say it. Write it. I choose action. Type it in the comments below as your first step. Like this video as your seal of intent. Share it so others feel the same urgency. Subscribe so you never miss the reminders that will keep you aligned. This is not about supporting a channel. This is about supporting yourself. Every click, every word, every share is an anchor that tells your subconscious, I am moving forward. I am breaking delay. I am creating my life now. Do not miss this chance. Do not let this truth slip by like all the others you postponed. Act, engage, commit, right here, right now. Because this is not just another video. This is a moment of decision. And decision creates destiny. So if you are ready, if you are truly ready to stop waiting, then do it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Not later, now, because this moment will never return. This is your time. This is your law. This is your power. And once you act, nothing can stop the chain reaction that follows. The only question that remains is this. Do you want me to show you how to plant a specific dream into your subconscious tonight?